But from Columbus, Ohio, number 2 to number 10, there's like, 1 month's difference, right? They're all, 33.1, 33.15, 33.22. We're at 27.5. Off the charts, the youngest big city in America. We're the second fastest growing big city in America. Only Fort Worth is growing faster than Austin. We are the third most educated city in America. If you base that on the fact, on how many of your citizens that are at least 25 years old have at least one college degree. So 42% of Austin's citizens over 25 have a college degree. We're an anomaly in this state. National average is about 25%. Texas average is probably 19%. We're at 42. Only San Jose and Seattle slightly have a higher, by half a percentage point higher percentage of its old guys with a college degree. But a complete anomaly in Texas, a complete anomaly in the South, a complete anomaly in the entire heartland. The only cities that have even close to that are Seattle, San Francisco, San Jose on the West Coast, and Boston, D.C. on the East Coast. Austin just sticks out like a sore thumb in the heartland when it comes to an educated citizen, and with a very, very safe city. Well, guess what? In a capitalistic-free society, attractive cities attract, right? And so look at our population growth. So these are real numbers up through 2010, and here's the projection. Austin has doubled in population every 25 years for over 100 years. I first moved here in 1980. We're 2.5 times bigger than we were in 80. My brother, actually a cousin, moved here in 1960. By the time I moved here in 80, Austin was twice as big as it was in 1960. Every 25 years, Austin doubles in population. And like it or not, it is a challenge, right? It's a double-edged sword. But attractive cities attract. So our economic sector, we don't have big industrial industries here, which is good, right? We don't have smokestacks. We don't have sort of polluting industries, which were the fundamental economic base for so many cities for so long. Whether it's the Northeast city, whether it's Detroit and automobiles, whether it's the Houston, Baytown, Beaumont area, come to petrochemical refinery and chemical plants, whether it was seaports in New Orleans and Long Beach and LA and New York. Austin had none of that. Austin has grown its economic prowess with intellectual capital, which has evolved in, which shows its face with technology. We're this economy that has companies that help people, do things faster, that help phones be a little quicker, that make servers run with a little less electricity. We're this value-added, intellectually oriented set of industry players. And it's our homegrown companies here are Dell Computer, of course, and Whole Foods. Those are the two big ones. Very different type companies. If you think about what they really represent, they represent tapping into what is the profile of an Austin citizen: young, educated, environmentally conscious, hip, tattooed, whatever it is. And so I'm just sort of last week. This is all just sort of self-evident, but I have given this parts of this presentation numerous times, but what's defining is who our citizen is. So what it is, as mayor, I was trying to lead. A very inventive city, a very creative city. You may have heard the terminology of the creative class. And Austin is the poster child when it comes to sociologists and demographers and other thinkers thinking about the future of the American city, the future of demographics in the Western world. And they look at cities like Austin because we're on this leading trend of creativity, a leading trend where jobs are created, wealth is created without necessarily products having to be created, right? Without having to have manufacturing, without having to have, strip mining and natural resources depleted. Value is being added, wealth is being created, and jobs are being had in towns like Austin without what has been the traditional really abuse of mostly natural resources. And so Richard Florida is a relatively famous author who wrote a series of books, but the first one was called The Rise of the Creative Class, and he ranked Austin as the #1 city in the country, and who'd argue therefore the planet, when it comes to this dynamic of this young, educated, hip, creative, driven, environmentally conscious, live music, listening, outdoor recreating citizenry. And Austin, that's what Austin is. So you only have that creative class if you have the quality of life. You can only attract people. So we're not attracting industry. Austin is attracting people, and then jobs tend to follow those people. But you only have that dynamic if you have this really, really, in relative terms, high quality life. You have clean water, clean air. You have, generally speaking, a safe town. You have, reasonable access, to jobs. You have reasonable access to educational opportunities. Your urban school system is in reasonably good shape. Because all those things sort of combine. You have very tolerant citizenry. You have festivals that sort of poke fun at yourself. The whole Keep Austin Weird thing is real. And it was organic. It was fun to watch it happen organic, but it was also sort of strategic in many ways because it symbolizes what makes people feel like they have a high quality of life. This isn't just another city, on perhaps their corporate march up a corporate ladder. And so, interestingly enough, now the dynamics are, I would suggest, that many people believe this and talk about this, is that, it sounds sort of silly, but the cities that are more fun are going to do better economically. The cities that attract creative, driven, educated minds are going to have more jobs created than cities that don't attract those really young people. And so, in fact, I should update this. These are, this is a year old probably. Just yesterday, I don't know if y'all caught the news or saw the newspaper, the Brookings Institute ranked the 400 cities across the planet for which city is going to be coming out of this global recession faster than others. And they ranked Austin, Texas as the #1 city in the country to come out of recession faster than most. In fact, technically, Austin has not been in a recession. As bad as it feels for some of your fellow graduates looking for jobs, and as crummy as it might seem for the city's budget, the state's budget, technically Austin had net positive job growth last year in the midst of this global recession. Very, very few cities in the country, a handful on the planet, actually created more jobs this year than they had the year before. All right, so I took this photograph back last March. I was actually purposely waiting down the grass is brown, but I wanted the leaves to be down so you could see some of these buildings. But these are the 11 tallest buildings in this photograph didn't exist in 2003 when I was elected. As I leave office, it's just a different skyline. It's a different city in certain ways. It's a different urban dynamic. And so, this is the better photograph, of course. This is from ACL Fest. I trust some of you all have been down there. It's my favorite weekend of the year. I live right across the river from this. My kids and I walk to ACL Fest every year. And I think it sort of demonstrates and highlights in many ways what's so fun about this city. We got lucky, the weather was nice. This is the Friday night before it started raining last year. We had the Mud Fest on Saturday and Sunday. This is actually Friday night. Kings of Leon are setting up down there at that stage. and they gave the closing performance that Friday night. It was a great show. But, 100,000 people walking around, most of them barefoot, carrying their flip-flops in the grass, but in our downtown. The city of Austin, I think, has arrested 2 people in 8 years of ACL Fest. And, you have to be, doing something pretty bad to get arrested in ACL Fest. But if you have that kind of crowd, I'm sorry, in virtually any other downtown, maybe any other community, sort of anywhere, you're just, sorry, you have a bunch of alcohol, you have a bunch of, testosterone, you have a bunch of young people, a little bit of drug use likely, and there's problems. And the fact of the matter is, there isn't in Austin ACL Fest. I just think it just ties into this whole concept of young, educated, creative, live and let live, tolerant, in the scheme of things, trying to have a good time. And hopefully, most of us as adults think having a good time probably means letting somebody else have their good time right next to you, while you're having yours, right? And so what I'd like to do now is run a quick video and show you what that looks like in a 2-minute